Dr. Drucker here today to talk to you about the plague of degenerative diseases, the deteriorative forces of premature aging. Did you know that the FDA approves drugs that are no safer than those made in the basements of less than ideal citizens? And often these drugs are lethal and have far greater damaging side effects. It's obvious that there is a huge conflict of interest which exists within the medical bureaucracy that was originally intended to protect the public. The physician of today is merely the product of over a century of conditioning in legitimate drugs because we have been conditioned to rely on drugs or surgery to correct the majority of our diseases. In fact, the need for most surgeries could easily be avoided in the first place if the patient was not allowed to deteriorate for decades due to misinformation and a complete lack of healthcare prevention. Or, most doctors practicing today, regardless of their specific field, are wonderful, caring individuals. It is the entrenched, profit-based policies of the establishment system which are to blame for the miserable track record of modern medicine, not the doctors. The doctors today are working with the tools they are permitted to utilize by the establishment policy, primarily drugs. The majority of these brilliant, well-intentioned practitioners have become the subservient subjects. Currently, 1 in 3 Americans are expected to contract some type of cancer in their lifetime. Cancer alone causes 22% of deaths. Prostate cancer eventually affects some 50 to 70% of men, while breast cancer attacks 1 out of 8 women. Over 100 million Americans suffer from some form of digestive disease. 80 million Americans suffer from arthritis. 61 million Americans, almost 1/4 of the adult population, live with active cardiovascular disease. At least 21 million suffer from diabetes. 18 million suffer from obstructive sleep apnea. And 50 million Americans are afflicted with tinnitus, to mention the tip of the iceberg. The young are also developing diseases which will be diagnosed in their later years. Diseases are out of control in America, and they are fueled by the allopathic philosophy of the mainstream medical establishment, which focuses on symptoms rather than prevention and the causes of disease. Millions more await diagnosis due to the fact that the overwhelming majority of the population are experiencing cellular starvation and premature aging, no matter how much food they consume. There are answers and natural cures for almost every known disease. We live in the age of known cures. The cures are the natural and powerful spectrum of healing phytonutrients that the pharma and medical establishments are attempting to minimize public awareness. The term phyto originated from a Greek word meaning plant. Phytonutrients are certain organic components of plants, and these components are scientifically known to promote human health. All this while the pharma medical establishment is pretending to be in search of the cures, and our doctors are sending us home with more and more prescriptions for toxic drugs which address no causes and cure virtually nothing. The prevention of and the cure for the majority of all degenerative diseases and conditions alike is already known. And for the main part, due to the synergistic effect that these disease-fighting bioactive living substances possess when combined, the prevention or cure is basically the same for most. It is the very existence of this natural and powerful spectrum of healing, so well understood by the scientific community, which exposes the farce of the search for the cures, in which the drug industry portrays their phony image. You can read more about this in my book, The Code of Life, where I uncover the problem and provide you with a solution. Get your free copy. Just pay shipping and handling at www.autoimmunehealthsecrets.com.